Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing some polygel toenails. This is my first time doing these nails or doing polygel. This is actually my first time working with polygel in general. This is my first time doing the toes specifically, and I think they turned out so cute. I did like a little French tip with some cherries on top. So I'm gonna get into it. I started by just pushing all of my cuticles back. Then I went in with this cuticle bit and just fouled around the cuticles, just making sure that I get them very clean. I went in with a different bit that was like a little pointier. Actually, no, I'm using like a little circle cuticle bit and just working from sidewall to sidewall and just doing that on all the toes. Now I'm going in with some cuticle nippers and just getting around the cuticles and cleaning up some more. So then I went in with my toenail clippers and I just try to cut them down into a square shape. I like my toenails really square. So I'm just trying to do as much as I can with the clippers and get them into the shape that I want. But I'm just going in with a file and I'm just trying to sand them into a square, and I also use a sanding band a little bit just to shape them a little bit, just whatever you have, but a file will work. So I'm just trying to get them as square as possible before I go in with the polygel. Now I'm going in with some nippers and I'm also just trying to cut the sides. I noticed that when I got my pedicure, he would cut the sides of my toes to a square. So I started doing that too when I can. So I'm just cutting the sides just to make them even more square. Now I'm going in with a sanding band and just dusting it off a little bit. Actually, I'm not even using this. I'm dusting them off, but I'm also just cleaning up the cuticles a little bit more with the sanding band. Now I used the Macart gel in 70% alcohol. Then I used dehydrator and primer. I will note that I think that the Macart was, according to my sister, because she does polygel, she said it looked a little hard to work with. So I went in and bought some Goy. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm excited to try that next. But I ended up doing what I needed to do, but just be warned, it might be a little hard, but maybe you'll see this and think it doesn't look bad. So like I said, I'm just dehydrating and priming my nails. Then I went in with a base coat and just curing that for 60 seconds. I got this brush from Amazon, so I'm going to use that to apply the polygel. So I just went in and put it straight on my toes, and then I used, like I said, 70% alcohol. I know that some people have used 90. I saw somewhere that you shouldn't use that so close to your skin, so 70 worked for me pretty well. So I just went in, I just try to start patting it down, really in different angles, just trying to get it flushed against my nail, against my cuticle really. And once I worked it really flat against the cuticle, I started pushing out, but just making sure I like really tuck it into the cuticles was what I was really going for. Shout out to the girls who do their own toenails, because it's a really hard to like get down there, look and see what you're doing while also trying to film. So y'all really got that. But I was learning with polygel that less is really more. Like I found myself having to work a lot of product off, up and off of the nail because I didn't need that much. So it took me a little while. But eventually I got the gist, like, okay, you don't need that much. And if you need it more later, you could always go in and add more. But yeah, so just going in and really taking my time to shape the toenails and try to get that square shape. This brush was okay. I feel like there could be a better brush. I don't know if it was the alcohol. I think it was a mix of like, I really think it was the polygel that was just different. But like I said, this was my first time. So if I could do it, you can do it. But this is just like what I did literally my first time using polygel. And I found that I really liked using a lot of alcohol. Like when it dried up, you can just dip your brush in there and get it really wet and just, get the work. So I really liked working with my brush really wet. The big toe really was the hardest, but once you got them done, the small toes went by faster. So I just spent, like I said, a lot of time just trying to get my shape right. Then after I got the shape right, I would go over and smooth everything out. And I ended up having to go back in and add just a little bit more to the side because I noticed it was missing product and it wasn't as even. So it's easy to just go back in and pat the product in with some alcohol. And then, like I said, I'm going in and making sure I flush the toenail, flush the cuticle. Then it was like that one little piece that was really annoying that I was trying to like blend in or take off. So I'm just showing y'all in real time, like all the little manipulation that I had to do. And once my sister made a good point too, like once you get it to a shape that's reasonable, just cure it because you can go back in and like file it down. But the more you keep messing with it, it's like easy to like throw it out of place. So I was really struggling on this first toenail, just trying to make it perfect. That's why it took a little bit, but I finally got it to where I wanted to, and I moved on to the next toe. And I put that much on there, but that ended up being too much. But you can also use the other end of the brush to put product on there, but I feel like this poly gel was just like really tacky and sticky, and it barely came off of the scalpel, whatever it is on the other end. So yeah, I just found it easiest to just place it straight in the toenail. And as you can see, I'm still haven't learned my lesson about less being more, so I put too much, and then it's easy to just take it off when you don't need all of that product. And in between each toenail, so I cured the big toe with the flash cure little lamp for like 10 to 30 seconds just to set it in place so it won't get messed up when I move on to the next one. But at the end, of course, I went back and cured them all under my big lamp for a minute. So as I kept going, I was learning more. So I'm using a scalpel this time to put it on the big toenail. And I feel like I used a good amount of product this time. And just like I said, this one's a little closer, just working it, pressing down, just pressing it out, and then tucking the cuticles from sidewall to sidewall and making sure everything's really flush. As you can see right here, I'm just going around the end, and this is where I flash cure. So now they're all done, and I'm going in with a sanding band, and I'm just sanding off the top of the nail. And I also went in and I wiped the toes off because they were a little tacky. So now I'm going in with this bit, and then I'm just shaping the nails up, just making sure they're smoothed out, which is what I was saying. You don't have to get them perfect because you can go in and file them down, but you want them to be pretty decent. You don't want them to be too thick, so you don't have to do too much filing on your toes. So I kept mine pretty thin. and I'm just going in the filing. And then once I did all the filing, I went in and shaped again to get them back square. But I think I did a pretty good job of keeping the shape square, and then I went in on the sides and just squared them up as well. Now I'm using this polish. I think I got it from Temu or Shein, but it's like this pretty nude. I'll link it below if I can find it. But I'm going in with 2 layers of that as my base coat. Then I'm using this white color from Madam Glam. And then I'm using some rhinestone glue for this design, and also this green color to make the cherries, and then these red gems. And this is my first time doing like French tip on my toes. And it was kind of a struggle, but I saw some really helpful videos where you basically just go in and draw lines on the side of your toes, and then you kind of round them out like at the top, as you can see, and then make a line across the top. And that's like an easy way to do French toes. So it worked out. It was kind of trial and error, just like getting the shape that I wanted and the thickness, but it turned out pretty good. So I'm just using a liner brush to apply the white French tip. And the color is so pretty. The shape is so pretty. I think I really did a good job for this being my first time doing polygel. And I painted my toenails before, of course, but nothing like this. So moving on to the smaller nails. Very cute, very demure. So the nails are all French tipped. And then I went in and did my top coat on all the nails. Then I went in with some rhinestone glue, and I'm just placing like 2 little dots because that's where the cherry gems are gonna go. So once I got them down in the place that I wanted them, I flash cured them. Then I drew the little cherry stem on with a liner brush. And I think they turned out super cute. So this is the finished design, but this was really easy and I really love the way they turned out. So definitely give these a try if you're a beginner. If I can do it, you can do it. Test them out. And if you try this and use the products that I use, let me know. If you used different products before to do polygel toenails, let me know, because I'll be looking for more products, and I'll also be experimenting with polygels for my actual nails. So thank y'all for watching this video. If you want to see more nail content, lifestyle, beauty, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one.